Well, first of all, thank you guys. I know it's been crazy times. We're all adjusting to this new normal, but it's very refreshing to be able to be on the court with our young ladies. The biggest thing is, I talked about earlier how relationships have been a big key for us. And when I tell you we came back together, it wasn't as awkward. So all those Zooms every day, 7 days a week really paid dividends for us because I feel like this team is really getting closer together and have a building a bond and a trust amongst each other, which is translating on the court. We want to play extremely fast, and I've said that. Feel like a speed game is a fun game, so we're talking about a lot of basic fundamentals of how to stop with speed, how to be under control, to where we're able to get in the paint and finish. That's an area where we got to be very efficient in the paint. We're shooting the ball. Again, when you're playing fast, you got to be able to knock down shots. So really making sure that our kids understand when we get off the bus, we got to be a threat to score the basketball, and then our pace of play. So haven't put a ton of stuff in, but basic fundamentals with our habits of movements offensively, and then our habits of movements defensively. That has to be like breathing. It's got to be second nature to us, and our kids are starting to really understand and buy into that.
Thank you. First, we'll go to Ben Portnoy.
Hey, Nikki. I know we talked about Sid the other day, but as one of the older players on this team, and I know you got a couple seniors as well, but how has she been, at least as a leader? Is she one of those people that's kind of stepped into that role, or how is she kind of taken to that on the court?
Well, a great question. Sid is someone that is very inviting. I think anybody, you're going to gravitate to people that make you feel good and that are warm and welcoming. And that's what she is. She has great personality, great smile, and she talks. She's a talker. You feel her presence in practice, and you definitely feel her presence when she's talking. But I would say that she's one player on this team that has a voice, not just on our team, but throughout our community, within our athletics department. Obviously, you saw the march, the peaceful march that she spearheaded. So that goes to show the type of voice that she has. So really looking to her to police our culture and what's right all the time, and to be able to step up when we don't, like if we don't have energy or something in practice, being able to do that. But she has to bring that every single day. But yeah, she is doing a phenomenal job of continuing to work and get herself back to where she was due to COVID, and just continue to have energy and pace and leading our team with her voice.
Hey, Coach. Just want to get your thoughts on the start of the basketball season, Thanksgiving week.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your overall takeaways from that timeline? And do you think you'll have, enough time to, implement more things and, kind of establish, the style play you were looking for? Just your overall thoughts on the timeline for this year.
Well, I think first of all, we have a date up, and after that, I can't really tell you what else is going to happen. I know that one thing is for sure. We're going to utilize our time that we have to get better, to be faster, to be stronger, all of those things. So I am so excited that we now officially have a date, and now we can start working towards, something. I think it gives our strength and conditioning coaches a platform. Now it gives us as coaches a platform to now what we can start implementing within our time frame. But, I think every coach in America yesterday was smiling from ear to ear. There's still some stuff that we have to, get to understand, but the date is something that we're really excited to have, and then we're just going to work from there.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi.
Andy left a couple of weeks ago, decided to opt out for the season, and I know you have options at guard, and you have a pretty good guard group. How comfortable are you in the girls that you have on the right now at her position, and where with the roster, do you feel like you have your numbers that you want, or do you want to add some more players? What's your thoughts on where you're at right now?
Well, first of all, I think, we've all said that, our players, we've given our players a voice, and, for COVID reasons, we have to respect their decisions. We respect Andy's decision to opt out. As far as our team, we've had guard depth. So to me that is very good when you have good guard depth. We lose that lack of experience, but the depth of our guard is still pretty intact, and our guards are really talented. So just really, really excited with where we are and where we're moving on. It was really good to have a player like a Katerion, come to our team who brings some experience as well as more depth to our team. So for us and our guards, the biggest thing is just continuing to be able to shoot this basketball at a high rate. Just continue to get better as far as adding more, to our team. I think right now we're going to focus on the 21 class and the 22 class. It's kind of late in the game to bring somebody in, right now. But, we just got to, we're going to play with the cards that we're dealt.
Follow up if I can. Has Andy expressed coming back if she gets another year? Is she done? Or what's the future hold for her from what you know?
Obviously that has not been expressed. I think the biggest thing is just, for just, making sure that we respect her and that we are, we're supporting her. We support, where she is right now mentally and physically and the things that, she's trying to accomplish. So she has our full support of opting out with our team.
All right, we're going to take a brief pause to let a few more people join in, and then we'll continue on. All right, for those of you that just joined us, we have head coach Nikki McCray-Penson on. Up next, we'll go to Joel Coleman.
Hey, Nikki. You were talking about, obviously, the depth at guard and things. Of course, Madison Hayes comes in with a lot of hype, a lot of attention. Just kind of where she's at, what do you think is a fair expectation for her this year? And how has, I guess, coming in under these circumstances with the pandemic and everything, how does that kind of, I guess, influence maybe what should be expected of her?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, Madison Hayes has been here along with some other players have been here since June 8th. And it was really good to take advantage of that. And that just goes to show her commitment to her physical and mental, state to get ready for SEC play, to get ready, in my opinion, big girl basketball. And, the players that came in early, you could tell that they are ahead because from a physical standpoint, it's been really good to see they're in really good shape. And all of those things, and they are ahead when it comes to those things. And I think the biggest thing is being in shape. With how we want to play, it's real important that you're in really good, physical conditioning. The one thing about Madison in particular, played on an elite AAU program, had played against great competition. Her basketball IQ, her ability to pick up on things, has been really good to see. So just being a student of the game has been really good because sometimes that's hard. I know when I was a freshman, it was a big transition for me, but it's really good to see, players coming in and picking up on the detailed things that are really necessary for us to be really good.
Thank you. Up next, we'll go to Ben Portnoy. And just a reminder for anyone in the participating, if you have a question, just put your name in the chat.
Coach, you mentioned Katerion coming in, and I guess what does she bring to this team and to the floor, and then also just how did you all kind of go about recruiting her in the portal, and I guess what kind of stuck out about her, and why did you guys kind of decide to go after her?
And I think the biggest thing that Katerion brings is experience. Again, and she brings, consistency, her ability to shoot the ball at a high rate. She did a great job of shooting it, this summer, and she's doing a great job of shooting it now that we've been, back in, with our team. So she knows what she's very good at, and she understands that. But she's a great teammate, a great person. She handles her business on and off the floor. And, and that's really good to see when you have more players that set those examples and that do things the right way. It is very important to have that, especially when you bring in a transfer. She's not a disruption at all, very positive, and she goes about her business the right way when it comes to our culture. But her experience and her ability to shoot the ball is very key.
Up next, we'll go to Robbie Falk.
Nikki, I know there's a lot of uncertainty right now with the schedule, and I know you are just starting to figure out when you might start. Do you know anything about the pre-SEC slate? Are those games just up in the air right now, or is there anything finalized? Specifically, the Women's Hall of Fame Challenge in Connecticut, is that off, or what have you heard from any of that stuff?
What I can tell you, Robbie, and all of you guys, we know that we start up on the 25th. After that, everything else is still up in the air. It is just so much, unknowns when it comes to just, things that have to be ironed out, from, protocols to all of that. But, we are really, really thrilled the fact that we now know that, November 25th is a start date for us, and now we can work from there.
Up next, we'll go to Brian Haydad.
Coach, you mentioned a second ago about how Madison allows you to play the style you want to play. What is the style that you want to play this season? And do you feel like you have the players at every position to play that kind of style?
Well, we're going to play positionless basketball, number one, and then we're going to play an up-tempo style of play. Speed game is fun game. Our players 1 through 4 can handle the ball at any rate to be able to start our offense. Again, that's why we got to be in great shape, to be able to play fast. When you give the ball to multiple people that can run your offense, you got to, make sure that they understand that is a responsibility to take care of the ball. So we're going through that, right now to see who's able to handle this ball at a fast rate. And we're working through some things. As a coach, you have to be patient because they're not used to that. They're not used to maybe my 4-player bringing the ball down the court, But again, for us to play extremely fast, we have to have multiple people that can handle this ball for us. And so it's really good that they are being given the freedom to do that, but there's a responsibility that comes with it, so it's not taken away from them.
Okay, but you mentioned the recruiting class and at least the 21 and 22 classes hitting the trail. I know you can't talk on specific players, but in terms of that, I know you guys got a lot of scholarships to play with for next year. Is that something you anticipate filling, or how do you plan to kind of attack that, at least on that side?
Absolutely. I think, where we are with our 21 class, we're really good with the players that we have. We still have some, we still have about 2 more spots that we want to fill. Hopefully that will be filled in the spring. Without question, we need some more size in the post. Is a big piece for us. But then we have our 22s that we're really gonna lock in. With the new staff coming in, like I said, we're very good to get the kids that we were able to get. Especially transitioning from Old Dominion to Mississippi State. So really excited about what we have coming to the fold and really locking in on these talented 22 players, because that is going to be a class that is going to be really important to us as well.
And just real quick follow up on that. I mean, is there like a certain trait or anything consistent that you feel like you're looking for in what's a Nikki McCray recruited kid look like or player look like?
Competitive kid. I think you don't have to be the most talented, and I know we got to have talent in this league, and we're gonna get, but you got to compete. Those things are really, really big for me. Those intangibles have to stand out. So those competitive kids, high energy kids, kids that enjoy the grind of working are the ones that I love.
And we'll end with Ben Portnoy.
Nikki, I'm going to ask you to nitpick here for just a second. I don't know, it may be too early to do this, but a couple of months away, I guess, from the season tipping off, is there a thing or two that you're just, I guess, have your mind on, like this really needs to be ironed out over the course of the next 2 months? What's kind of your thoughts and just what really needs to be, I guess, fixed or improved over the course of the next 2 months?
I think it's too early to tell, but right now our pace of play is big, and then our conditioning. We're, with COVID, we're not where we need to be. And then once we get to where we need to be, all of those things will start to iron itself out. But we have to, our pace of play and our conditioning has to get, to a level, especially with how we want to play and the style of play that we want. We're aggressive on both ends, offensively and defensively, and you got to be in great shape to play that way.
Yeah, sorry to keep you, Nikki, but just I wanted to ask just about Rakia in terms of her development this offseason. I know you guys haven't had too much time just in the last couple months, but when you look at her game, what is the next progression for her? How do you kind of see her profiling this? I guess what's the next step to be made in her game?
I think for Rakia has been a threat when she steps off the bus. That means she's got to be able to shoot this basketball first and foremost, and then we play off of that. Rakia has been an inside-out player. She has to be an outside-in player from the get-go. From the time she steps off the bus, she has to be a threat.